Welcome back to The Average Drinker. I'm Dara, I'm your average drinker, and it's Thursday, and that means it's time for another whiskey review, and I have a fantastic review for you today. I mean, it doesn't mean the bottle itself is going to get a fantastic review. It may not. You got to stick around to find out. But the bottle itself is one of the most beautiful bottles I've ever seen. This Castle and Key Batch 1 straight bourbon whiskey from Kentucky. It is by far one of the most beautiful bottles. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. There's so much detail on this bottle. It's just so beautiful. The key and the castle and I love it. I cannot get enough of this bottle. I mean, I could say, holy moly, holy moly, holy moly, over and over and over again. Even from the cork itself, this might be one of the heaviest corks I've ever felt. Super heavy, so much detail went into this bottle, and I'm excited to share my review of it today. So, wow, I had to pop that one back on there. All right, so this beauty comes in at 98 proof. It is batch 1. Let's dive into it. This is an interesting one for me because I've been drinking a lot of it to kind of give you my true, honest review like I always do, but let's dive in here. All right, on the nose, this one is super, super unique. You're going to know right away that this is a young whiskey on the nose. To me, it's very corn forward. It's also got some sour notes to it that remind me of like a sourdough bread, a little bit of like citrusy and orange to it. I have a note that I want to tell you, but I feel bad about it too because it's like, I don't know, maybe you know it, maybe you don't. Sorry, there's a piece of hair that is absolutely driving me insane. Okay, so this one smells a little bit like Miracle Whip on the nose. Miracle Whip. I mean, it's a little bit different. It's unique. I don't want to say it's bad, but it is a little off-putting to me. It's a little bit corny, like I said, corny, sourdough, grainy. Maybe not even grainy, just mostly corny, Miracle Whip, just a very unique nose. So it's not my favorite nose that I've ever smelled. It smells young, I guess. I know a lot of people say young, but generally, like, if I say it smells young, it's because I can smell, like, corn or, like, a heavy maltiness. This one is a heavy corn. Like, you bit straight out of a piece of corn, like a kernel of corn, and then you dipped it in some Miracle Whip and it got smushed up in some sourdough bread. That's what it is to me on the nose. So luckily, once you get past the nose, the palate is better. So let's dive into the palate. I'm gonna take a swig. It's not bad. It's not bad. I get some of those typical notes that I get out of a bourbon. I get some of that, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla. Definitely don't get any oak out of this. It does taste very young. I do get some of that corn characteristic, but I also get something very interesting on this one. I do get a nice burst of like peppercorns and even a weird like figgy note. Maybe even a slight amount of chocolate and orange on the back end that come through on the finish. The finish does dry out a little bit on the very back of my tongue, but the flavor is still there. So the flavor lasts a little bit, and even though it tastes a little bit young to me, it's not bad. It's not bad. So let me take another swig of this. Yeah. The back end of the palate is really nice. I really enjoy that brown sugar and cinnamon note that come through on the back end. Even a little bit of like molasses. Like a little bit of molasses. For being young, it actually does have quite a bit of character, and it is very, very unique. I feel like I only say unique, or people only say unique if something's bad or they don't like it. I don't think it's bad. I don't love it though. However, I do not love it. It's not my favorite. I'm not going to actively try to reach for this one on the shelf, but there is a lot of promise in this bottle, and that is the cool thing, right? This is batch 1. This is just the beginning. If you look back at some of the batch ones, like, Remus Repeal Reserve Batch 1, granted that's probably MGP, but still, Remus Repeal Reserve 1. It was not that great, especially when you compared it to the next 5 bottles in the lineup. When you get to Remus 5, you're talking really, really good stuff. So, I might be talking out my butt here, but there's a lot of promise in this bottle, and I'm excited to see what comes from Castle and Key. But right now, I don't love it. I am excited because it is a batch 1, and that gets me excited. But the juice in the bottle doesn't live up to this beautiful bottle. I mean, this beautiful bottle, you should have some seriously epic juice in the bottle. It's not quite there, but the presentation's great. It's going to look awesome on the shelf, and I'll share a few pours with my friends, and that's what whiskey drinking is about. Sharing pours with friends, enjoying whiskey, enjoying conversation, and that is why I love the whiskey community so freaking much. So I'm going to take another swig of this, and then I'm going to tell you my final rating on this one. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 2.5 out of 5. 2.5 corks out of 5 corks. It's kind of down there with Weller Special Reserve for me if you're like trying to find a comparable bottle. Granted, Weller Special Reserve is a wheated bourbon, and this one's not. This is not a wheated bourbon. But that's how I would say like my level of enjoyment of this bottle is. So 2.5 corks out of 5. Not great. I probably want to reach for something else, like I said, but it is a beautiful bottle, and I'm excited about that. So here's another review for you. Got another one. There's always reviews coming out every Thursday right here on The Average Drinker. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back next time. See you later.